he had run into the house and he literally had a knife in his hand, like right in his hand. Okay, I'm seeing my dad and I can't even go and hug him. I can't even go and say anything to him. Like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you're definitely welcome. My name is Tolani and I create fun content. I make girl talk videos, story time, chit chat, and all of that. I also create beauty content on Instagram. I'm going to leave my handle here so that you can follow me on Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram. And I hope you like my kind of content and you subscribe to my channel. Please, let's just get to 2K before the end of the year. Please, I'm begging you. Tell anybody you know to subscribe, okay? Please. Ejo, Edakun, Biko, Dem Allah. Anyways, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share this video if you can. And if you're returning, hi, what's up? How are you doing? You already know how we do on this channel. Already know how we do it. But okay, let's get right into today's video. Oh, I smell so good. Okay, so guys, today I'm telling you guys a story time about like my first riot experience. Yeah, it's not a smiley video, so but it's like a survival story, so I'm going to be smiling a lot because I'm grateful that I'm still alive, basically. So let's get right into the video. So if you don't already know, I'm sure I say this all the time, I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Kano. So I live in Kano. I was born here, I was raised here, and all of that. If you know Kano very well, you know that at some point there were like religious crises, religious riots, and all of that. Honestly, if when I hear people say, "Oh my God, you live in Kano," oh my God, that like they're basically scared of Kano, I'm not even going to lie. I can understand because Kano is one place, guys. It is one place, but I mean, we're here, we're surviving, and that's all that matters. So yeah, this happened. Let me see. I was in primary 5 at the time, and I was like, I think I was 9 years old or 8 years old. I don't remember how old I was, but I know I was in primary 5 because I was about leaving primary school. So on this fateful day, normally school closes, they come to pick you up and you go home, right? But on this day, for some reason, people were coming to pick up their kids from school like way early. Like it was like they just dropped them off in school and then the next hour they're coming to pick them up. It wasn't even time for break yet and people were already leaving school. But me and my sister, was my sister in the school already? Yeah, me and my sister didn't come to pick us up. So like all of my friends were coming to pick up. I was like, why are you going home? Like, what's going on? And they'll be like, I don't know. And then they'll just go home. And some of them were like just laughing and saying, oh, maybe we're traveling America, or like, you know how kids are and stuff. So me, I just felt like, I don't know, maybe everybody was going to America. I honestly don't know what I was thinking. But I know that I was just wondering, like, why hasn't anyone come to pick us up yet? So at the end of, I think, normal closing time, my dad came to pick us up from school. So we got into the car and we're going. Normal Kano at this time, which is like maybe 1 p.m., the roads would be packed because people are picking up their kids from school. Like it's closing time, so the road is always busy and all of that. But for some reason that day, the road was just quiet. There were no cars. Like you could count the cars on the road. Everywhere was just quiet. And I remember asking my dad, like, Daddy, why is everywhere quiet? And he was like, don't worry about it. They said they're fighting somewhere or something. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's somewhere, right? It's not going to get to me. So we're going. So on our way home, there's this. My dad has a friend who used to sell like medical equipment. So every time we're going home, we always pass by his shop. Sometimes we actually even stop and take mineral and things. If you don't know what mineral means soft drinks, right? Like Coke, Fanta, and all of that. So on this day, his store was closed, and I was like, Daddy, his store is closed. Like I was just one kid that was asking too many questions, and then he was like, oh yeah, maybe it's because of the fight. And I'm like, okay. So we kept going. The road was so quiet. By the time we got to our area, it was dead quiet. There was nobody outside. Everywhere was quiet. So there's like a road that goes this way, and then there's a road that goes straight. So is that a T junction? I don't know. But the way to my house is straight, and the way to the other place is like this. So I looked through the car and I saw that the other road, they were burning tires. So I'm like, they're burning tires. They said they're fighting. Daddy's friend's store is closed. What's really going on? They were picking up my friends from school. Like, what is going on? But my dad didn't look like he was worried at all about the situation. So I was kind of calm. And I'm very grateful for that, because I felt like if he was panicking, I would have panicked more. So we got home. Our area was dead quiet. Like, quiet. And guys, let me tell you this. In my area, like where we were staying, okay, let me use neighborhood because I think that's more understandable. But in Nigeria, I say area. So in our neighborhood, I could count how many Christians were in the neighborhood. I think we're maybe just like 4 Christians in the whole neighborhood. So by the time we got home, everywhere was quiet. So normally my dad would park outside, like outside of the compound, and not park inside because he'll be leaving soon. So most of the time he's dropping us off and then going back to work, or he'll just have his afternoon break at home and then go back. So he doesn't bother parking into the compound. He always just parks outside. So on this day, he parks inside, and I'm wondering, what is it? Like, why is Daddy parking? At this point, I couldn't ask any more questions because he had already told me that, oh, they said they are fighting, and he didn't take it seriously, so I just let it go. So he parked inside, locked up the gate, and I'm like, okay, it's getting real. We got upstairs. Okay, so on our way home, we had seen our family friend just standing by the road, and when she saw our car, she stopped it. I was like, oh, where are we going to? And my dad was like, we're going home. So she says, let her come with us, because I don't know the reason she came with us. I honestly don't remember, but I know that she came into the car and we went to our house together. So when we got to the house, it was normal. Our nanny was at home with our last born. So me and my sister, we went to change into like home clothes and stuff. So we came to the living room to watch, I think we wanted to watch a movie or something. I don't know, but we checked into the living room, wanted to watch maybe a cartoon or Disney Channel, something like that. So I won't forget this part. We put on the AC, and the AC in our house at the time was that AC that like goes through the wall. It wasn't like the split unit. I don't know what they call that AC that goes through the wall, but you guys know that box AC, right? So that was the AC. So when you put on that AC, they can hear from outside that your AC is on, so they know somebody's in the house. So me, I was wondering, like, they say they are fighting. Why is my dad putting on the AC? Like, people are going to know that we're at home, we're Christians, and they're going to come here. But okay, I kept quiet. So me and my sister started peeping through the window. Like, we started seeing like boys stoning like houses, and the house they were stoning was like a Christian person's house. So we saw that they were stoning houses, and I started panicking, like, Daddy, they are stoning houses. My dad says, get into your room. So me and my sister, we get into the room. I think he didn't want us to see what was going on, so we got into the room. And then of course in my room I could still see through the window, so I was like, we're just peeping through the window, and it was just like, why is my daddy so calm? Like, they are fighting and he's so calm. Mind you, my mom is at work, and where her office is kind of safe. It's a federal whatever, so they were kind of safe, right? She couldn't reach us, like she couldn't get to the house anyway. So yeah, so my dad was very calm about the situation. I don't know if he was panicking deep down, but for the most part, for what I could see from outside, he was calm about the situation. So me, I was just panicking. Okay, they are rioting, we're Christians, why are we still at home? So like when I came back outside, I was like, Daddy, they are stoning. He said, I said you should get back to your room. So I went back to my room, and at this point I'm like, are they going to burn our house? Like, I was just thinking of all the things I had in the house, all my nice clothes. I was not thinking about my life. I was thinking about my nice clothes, my nice toys, and all the nice things I had that was going to burn and all of that. So fast forward, we have this general. He was a general, I think a retired general or something. He was living opposite our house. So his wives had come out, standing outside, just looking at, like, most of the Muslims in the area had come out of their houses, just looking at what was going on. Trust me, these rioters, you can't stop them. If you're not like a policeman or a soldier, you can't stop them. So the wives came out, and like they were in their full on abaya and everything. So they came out, they were looking at everything that was going on. I don't know, but they were sure looking at everything that was going on. So they came, the rioters had come to our house because they knew we're Christians. Like they knew we were living there, right? Because since we're few in the neighborhood, they knew we were around and they had seen the car, or maybe I don't know how they knew we were around. So they came to the house and they started stoning. So we're upstairs. Upstairs, we had this sliding glass. If you're Nigerian, you know all these things. We had this sliding glass that had like burglary proof that led to a balcony, right? Or is it a veranda? A balcony, anyways, whatever it is. So they started stoning at the glass, and at some point, I think they broke the glass. So my dad had peeped through the window and said, please, they should stop and stuff like that. And then they didn't stop, so he planned to go downstairs. So our family friend who we had picked up from the wood was begging him, like, don't go downstairs, it's dangerous, you're a Christian, these people are Muslims and they are targeting Christians, so you don't have any business going downstairs. So she was basically just begging him, like, think about your children before you go downstairs. And I don't know how it ended. My father went downstairs. My father went downstairs, and from the story I heard, he knelt down. Like, this was what my family friend was telling us, because she was the only one allowed to be in the living room, okay, because she was the only adult. So he had knelt down for the rioters, and he was begging them, like, please don't hurt my family, like, we haven't done anything, we're peaceful people, we love everybody and all of that, you can ask the neighborhood, we don't look for trouble and stuff like that. Like, just trying to like calm them down and not to hurt us or burn down the house. Because what they do is they have like kerosene tied in I don't know if you guys know this little transparent white nylons, they call them Santana leather. Yes, so they tie like petrol or kerosene in Santana leather and throw it at houses, and then throw fire at it, so then it catches fire and then it burns. Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes people get burnt in their houses, or like very horrific stories. So he just basically went downstairs to calm them down, that please they shouldn't hurt his family, that please they should just leave and stuff. I don't know, my dad is a very brave man, so I can believe that he did that. So out of like amongst the rioters, a guy had recognized him and was like, oh Kusaya, I'm going to speak Hausa now so that it will make sense as I'm saying it. I'm going to translate it in English. So the guy was like, Kusaya, like that means wait. Nasenshi. She ne wa yayana operation 5 years ago and stuff like that. So basically it means I know this man, she ne likita there were yayana operation blah blah blah. So basically he means that it was my dad was the doctor who operated on his brother 5 years ago, so that they should leave him alone. So the rioters kind of calmed down and everything, and then the guy who had told, apparently the guy who recognized my dad was like the leader of the rioters or whatever. So the guy had like told them to leave and like obviously go and attack another house. So he gave my dad this cap. It's, you know, this cap that Hausa people wear, like the northerners wear. He gave him the cap and he gave him their rosary, that he should hold this and sit in front of the house, that once they come and they see that, they will pass by. So my dad collected it and said, oh, now go there and stuff like that, and then they moved on to the next house. But my dad, it didn't really sit well with him, because it was like, what if they come back and then this guy is not coming back with them? They're just going to attack us. Like, he has kids upstairs. All of us were upstairs. So he's like, nah, that he can't even believe that. Like, he can't like trust that and stuff. So he came upstairs. He told us, wear your shoes or wear your slippers, wherever, and like we should go. So in my head, I'm like, go where? When we got downstairs, I thought that okay, we're going to take the car, but the car wasn't being, like, nobody was entering the car. My father was headed towards the gate, so we followed him. Our nanny had backed our last born on her back, and I held my little sister's hand, and then our family friend had held our nanny's hand, and then my dad had held my hand. So it was like a long chain. So we're running. So the rioters had gone to the next street, and we were running like opposite them. Like, we ran in the opposite direction. So we're running Trust me, we had nowhere we were running to. We did not know where we were going to. We were just running aimlessly, right? So you remember I told you that people, like the wives of like the men in the neighborhood, came and were just standing and like looking at everything that was going on. So as we're running, there's this house. We don't know them from anywhere. See, we've been in that neighborhood for a while, but we never really knew who they were and stuff. We always see the house, but like we never knew who was living inside the house. So they were standing in front of the house and they were like, where are you people going to? Like all these things they were saying in house. So like, where are you people going to? Where do people think like you are running to and stuff? So my dad was like, we honestly don't know. So then they said we should come in. So of course my dad can't go into the house because he's a man, and they call them, but they call them something like those women that cover their eyes and their mouth, like you don't see their faces, like other men can't see their faces. So that's who those women were. So my dad couldn't enter the house, but because we were all of us were female, so they let us in and stuff. So my dad had to continue running for his life, like he had to continue running basically. Meanwhile, my mom is at her office trying to get to us. She was making phone calls. At this point, I don't even think there was service or network, so everything was just a chaos. So we're sitting in the house. Those people were so nice. God bless them. As in, God bless them so much. They were so nice. They gave us food to eat. They were like, we shouldn't worry, nothing's going to happen to us. But even us, as we're in that house, we couldn't really trust them 100% because we felt like, what if they set us up? What if they called these rioters to come and meet us inside the house? So as we're there, we're still calculating, like, if anything happens, where are we going to go through? So I remember our nanny telling us that their fence is short, so if anything happens, we're going to jump. I'm going to jump the fence. So we're just like really just thinking and everything. We didn't really trust them 100%, even though at the end of the day they did nothing like that. So meanwhile, my dad was running helter skelter. I'm sure at some point he was tired, right? So he would always come back around the house where we were hiding to see, like, are we okay and stuff, because the owner of the house, the man, was outside. So the rioters had seen that we were running away, so they had come running after us, like, why are we running away and stuff. As they came, they asked those people in the house, like, did you see those capere? I don't know what it means, but basically, did you see those capere, which basically means, have you seen those Christians? They were running. So the owners of the house told them that we had run this way. Meanwhile, we were in their house. So they basically misled them, right? So they left and they couldn't find us. But I felt like they would now be looking for my father. So at some point, the owner of the house, which was the guy, told my dad to just come into the house and sit in the compound. He didn't really have to like come into the main house. He should just sit in the compound. So my dad was sitting in the compound, but I was seeing my dad from afar and I couldn't go out to meet him. It was just a whole emotional trauma for me. I could see him. I was waving him at some point and it just felt like I'm seeing my dad and I can't even go and hug him. I can't even want to say anything to him. Like, what is this life? Like, I'm just 8 years old or 9 years old. I don't have to go through this and none of that. So it was just emotional for me and all of that. So later in the evening, police people came and they packed the rioters. So as the rioters heard the sirens and everything, they started jumping into people's houses, like through the fence, just so that the police people won't catch them. So they entered the house and were now hiding in. But at this point, they couldn't do anything again because now they were looking for them. So they came into the house, and I remember immediately they started jumping into the fence. I was panicking because I'm like, oh my god, we've been hiding all this time and it has been successful. Now they're going to see us and they're going to see that we're in this house. First of all, we might put the owners of the house in trouble, and then even us, our lives would be at risk. Like, I was a child, but I was thinking about so many things. So I remember, I would never forget, I remember that behind me there was one of the rioters standing, like, because he had run into the house. It was a chaos, so we didn't even know who was who. He had run into the house and he literally had a knife in his hand, like right in his hand. Okay, so me in my head as a child, I'm like, I'm just going to shout so that they'll come and take him away. But then I was like, what if he should stab me? Like, I've watched too many movies, so I'm like, I'm just going to be quiet. So anyways, they came and they packed them. I heard different stories of how they packed them and all of that. And then after like everything had settled, we now my mom had her office people come and pick us up, and then we went to meet my mom at her office, and then from there we just went to a safe place, because there's a particular area in Kano where it's safe for Christians and all of that. So we went there and we stayed there for a while. Like, we're displaced from our house for a long time, no school, none of that, and then we're just there for a long time. And guys, I'm just grateful that we survived that, because first of all, if nobody had recognized my dad, or if nobody had recognized my dad for his good deed, then it would have probably been a different story. Would have been lynched in the house. You guys don't even want to know. So when we reunited with our mom was giving us the story of how, like, she tried to come home to get us. Like, she was trying to get like a man to follow her in her car, because nobody was listening to her. Like, she needed to go and pick her kids and her husband up from the house. Nobody wanted to follow her, so she was looking for a man who would follow her. Nobody wanted to follow her. She was like, she would drive. Anyways, nobody shall listen to her. So she told me that she was ready to clear anybody she saw on the road. Like, she didn't care who it was. As far as you're in her way, she was going to clear you, because she needed to get to us and all of that. But I think her and my dad were communicating, so she knew that we were safe. But she was just unsettled, basically, that she really needed to, like, be with us and all of that. So yeah, when we got to the hospital, we saw, like, because my mom works in a hospital, so when we got to the hospital, we were in the accident and emergency place. Guys, if you see the casualties that were coming to the hospital, like, if you see the wounded people that were coming to the hospital because of the riot, I was just so thankful that this could have been me. And after, like, the whole riot, we heard stories about what happened to the other Christians that were living in the neighborhood. Guys, there was this Christian couple that were living at the extreme end of the neighborhood, right? The man literally had to hide in a GP tank. I don't know if you guys know what GP tank, but if you're Nigerian, you know what a GP tank is, like the big water tank. He had to hide in the water tank because they came looking for him. He was an Igbo man. They came looking for him particularly, so his wife had to lock him up in a GP tank till he left, guys. Till they left. He couldn't come out of that GP tank. Now, I don't know if the GP tank was empty or if it was full, but I know he had to hide in the GP tank, and that is horrific. Guys, I heard different stories of them, like, locking a whole family in the well, and it was days later they discovered that the family had died in the well because of, like, flies. Oh my God. Oh God. I heard different horrible stories. So for the fact that I survived it, me and my family survived it, I will forever be grateful to God. I will forever be grateful to God. At this point, this happened maybe in 2004 or 2003. I'm not sure, but it was horrific. A child had no business seeing that or going through that, but I'm thankful because I'm just grateful that I survived it. Period. I'm just glad I survived it, and yeah. There has been one more riot after that, but I wasn't at home, but my sisters were at home. Yeah, after that there hasn't been any religious riots or anything like that. I'm just grateful to God, because look at me, I'm here and I'm enjoying Kano. I'm not even going to, like, Kano is a beautiful place. Kano is a lovely place. So yeah, that was my riot experience in Kano, Nigeria. Here I am, I'm good, I'm well, I'm hearty, I survived it, and we move. Thank you so much, guys, for watching until this point. And if you like videos like this, please let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've had any riot experience, any crisis experiences in your state or wherever you're living and all of that. I would like to hear your stories, or even if you live in Kano and you experience the riot, please let me know your experience. And until next time, guys, please, I hope you have subscribed to my channel, and I hope you have clicked on the like button on this video. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate you. God bless you. Anyways, thanks so much, guys, for watching, and until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye, guys.